Welcome to Deadly Days, Tales of Dark Fantasy. This is episode number 79, and I'm your host, Joe Bandel. Today we are going to do a short story by Leonhard Stein called Hashish. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I am trying to complete the November challenge of the uh, National Novel Writing, whatever it is, club. Uh, anyway, so I'm trying to do a rough draft of an entire novel in the 30 days within November. So I'm just kind of trying to get these other things out of the way. And today I was just doing work. I participated at a local writers club. So my day's almost shot, and I haven't worked on my novel yet. So, uh, anyways, we're just going to jump right into it. This story's kind of short, but some of them are shorter than others. The idea is to get them out. Hashish, your friend Frank tells, dream or will? Which is stronger? Is the dream of the world brain life? Its will death? I received a wicked answer to this 5 years ago. That was in Cairo in June, where the sun rips the pavement and burns people out into hot magnets, spinning silently after the pull of desires. We lie in white tails on the terrace of the shepherd's motel, the whiskey in the ice bucket. The brown servant, Ahmed, glides silently between the chairs, handing each a card. Professor, medium performance? Fine. I wanted to go to the opera, but in this heat it's more comfortable to put your money indoors. At 9 o'clock, we were gathered in the room of the Swedish professor. Three gentlemen, a manufacturer from Chicago, Shade Barbaran, a fat, ever-smiling Arab, and yours truly. No one else was crazy enough to throw out a pound for the joke. Before we have time to be ashamed of each other, a door opens. Mundwasser. His face is a burnt-out volcano, surrounded by white blonde hair. He thanks us briefly for coming, invites us into the next room. We follow. At a table, head resting in her hands, sits a young woman, Dagny, a March landscape. Not the flame of the hair, the pond of the eyes, the shine of her neck. No, only soul. Soul that awaits the dream of life. For now, she awaits the performance. Mundwasser begins. We would not have given our pounds in vain. Dagny would be in a magnetic deep sleep and ready to perform the most dangerous at his will. Whatever the gentleman wished. Pause. Then Saeed Barbaran smiles, pulls a small box out of his burnous, opens it, lets a string of pearls slip out. He explains, still smiling. These beads contain crystallized hydrochloric acid and melt on the warm skin in a short time. If the lady wants to put them on, the timing of the effect is known to me. Mundwasser glares sharply at Dagny. His eyelids are pincers, clutching the butterfly of her life, rawly smudging the pollen. Now he holds her tight. Now Dagny places the beads around her neck. We wait. watches in hand. After 3 minutes, Said Barbaran waves. Mundwasser lifts off the string with a hairpin, on which loosened drops are already hanging. But Dagny's skin is still unharmed. Said Barbaran declares himself satisfied with a smile. The performance continues. Mundwasser draws a new magnetic circle around Dagny's forehead with his fingers. Her eyes close chastely in deep sleep. I stand in the sweet dream. Am I on the terrace or still in the room? Was it pleasure or agony for me to look at Dagny's fainting, or to flee? I do not know. Where to now? I feel myself striding willy-nilly through the glowing night toward the fish market. The air wafts with spices. The bare moon stands like an opium cup. Bands of music roar. The fish market is the heart of Cairo. The wildly hammering, lustful heart. Here stand the high cages of houses, piled one on top of the other as if mad in the hot world, full of whites, Negroes, Turks, sailors, merchants, Bedouins, dancers, and musicians. Here the goddess of love greedily offers her two breasts of lust and ecstasy to the people, and Hashish, the messenger of dream intoxication, is everywhere. The open door of an opium den dazzles. In the anteroom, a belly dancer makes her skin shimmer. 4 Arabs blow monotonously on long flutes. I also want to smoke hashish once to forget the performance. I am already lying on a half-torn ottoman. A boy lights the brown grain on the pipe plate. The Arabs in the anteroom continue to blow monotonously. The first puff is bitter and suffocating, like sinking into the sea. The Arabs are still playing, but quieter, deeper. The belly dancer also still sways her hips, but in a copper-red cloud, whose current closes my eyes, smoking, dreaming, floating. I hang high, lonely, near the moon over Cairo, above the sea, above the silver earth, as a star in the canvas of the night. I am not hanging, I float on a long, thin, giant stem that reaches down to the earth. On it, I float as a red flower in the wind. Always new root threads I send out, in all directions. I have become an enormous creeper, overgrowing the earth. Always new branches are flowing, all through me. In the dream, I have become the master of life. I am life itself. Am the flower in the carpet weave, through which all threads must run. Suddenly, all the branches turn in one direction. I know it. Dagny. A wall stands defending her, cold and hard as glass. Olaf Mundwasser. But the branches are thinning. They know how to find pores, to worm their way through until they grow lush again inside the glass house. My dream is stronger than its will, and now the white threads wind their way up Dagny and twine around her. She hangs tied up in the tangled web, surrendered to the red blossom, which she sees swinging through the glass house far away in the night sky, always sending new threads. Fight back, Dagny. I love you. In dream. I want to tear apart Mundwasser's net. Fly, colorful butterfly of my youth, only in dreams. The Arabs still flute, monotonously buzzing. The belly dancer also still throws her hips, She is fat and ugly. I have a dark taste in my mouth of bitterness and regret. I throw the Arabs a coin and stagger home, dead tired. But in the morning, Dagny is lying on the terrace in a white dress, with deep, destroyed eyes. Her fingers rummage in a pile of newspapers, drop them absent-mindedly. How are you? I ask, handing her the pages again. She hesitates for a long time, as if the word first had to run endless circles to reach her. Then tonelessly, as if from memory, bad. I've had a bad night's sleep. I dreamed. Of what? My voice sounds unusually hard and greedy to me. But now I must know whether Dagny recognizes me, the dream, whether I can compete with Mundwasser. She says slowly, almost sadly, of something unknown, strange, and looks at me with large, dark, deep maiden eyes. We recognize each other. On this evening, Mundwasser refrains from performing. And at night, I lie again in the opium den of the fish market, entangling Dagny with the supernatural desire of the Hashish intoxication. But the next morning, she is not to be seen on the terrace. The servant tells me that she tried to leave the hotel at night in a fit of sleepwalking, and was held back only with the greatest difficulty by Mundwasser. Now she was lying exhausted in the room. That's what my plan was set up for. I sent a Greek to Heliopolis and have him post the following telegram there. Olaf Mundwasser, Cairo, Shepherd's Hotel. Expect you at 9 a.m. for contract. Galini, Heliopolis Hotel. At 8 o'clock sharp, I see Mundwasser leaving alone. The next train does not go back from Heliopolis to Cairo until morning. After 10 o'clock, I have a pipe and opium brought to the room. Set fire to the grains myself. Now I smoke already more practiced. Also, the bitter taste at the first puff has disappeared. The dream flies up as if on heron wings. No Arabs to disturb me. Again I am a dream flower at the blood field, moistened by the streams of desire. Again I beat my seed rods over the hot earth, on which Dagny lies naked, incline my chalices over you, you resting one, in dream. No, in truth, in life, in the tropical night of life. For you are free, Dagny. Your keeper death is lured away. You may come, free in your dream. Dagny stands in the doorway, freed in her dreams. You light, stranger. Over the roof of the hotel, a heron flies gleaming white against the Nile. I await Mundwasser's return to his room. A quarter of an hour after the arrival of the early train, he enters, the burned-out volcano of his face in rigid calm. Only in his eyes a new eruption glows. We measure ourselves in silence. Then I ask politely, when does your contract with Miss Dagny end? He, likewise, at your pleasure, if you are authorized by the lady. Should he surrender so easily? I almost feel sorry for him. I grant him one last performance. This took place at the National Hotel, likewise in a room. Even 8 gentlemen showed up. The 8 pounds will make it easier for Mundwasser to say goodbye. Fat Said Barbaran is also back, smiling kindly at me. pulls out his string of pearls again with a grin after a few other demonstrations. A funny codger. Again, Mundwasser puts the beads around Dagny's neck. I count indifferently on the clock until the 3 minutes are full. But already after the first seconds, Dagny opens her eyes wide from the deep sleep, stares at me sadly with the gesture of burning pain. Her voice is still paralyzed. I rush towards her, tearing off her beads, staggering back with bloody, cauterized fingers. In a flash, I suspect everything. Mundwasser has persuaded the monster of an Arab to hand Dagny pearls of a different composition, the terrible effect of which is immediate. An Arab is capable of anything for money. I carry Dagny out of the room unconscious. The pearls have long since melted. In their place, a deep red strand stretches, ending in a mocking M at her chest. Thanks to the oriental composure of the Cairo police, inquiries about Mundwasser and Said Barbaran were in vain. I could not look at Dagny calmly since then. The mark on her neck seems to me a sign of Mundwasser's tentacles in which he still held her. She felt it. Suddenly she was gone. I never saw her again. The end of that story. And this story is so strange, I think, and it was so short. I think I need to just kind of give my take on it. It is talking about a hashish intoxication in which the one person, these two people are magicians and they're fighting over this girl. And the one uses hypnosis to control the girl, and the other one believes that he can control her, connect with her, and control her in the hashish dream. And it works. Except he's thwarted in the end. That's at least my take on it. This is the first time I've even tried to talk about a story that I've translated, but it's such a kind of a unusual story. I thought I would just add my 2 cents to that. Till next week, talk to you later. Bye.